Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is gisleniq if this is your first time here. So today's video is going to be me showing you guys my go-to quick easy summer glam. And I've been obsessed with Love Island. I've been watching both series, the UK version and the US version. So I have a lot of thoughts. So I'm gonna kind of chit chat a little bit about that and what my thoughts on the series so far and the couples. Yeah, so if you guys want to hear my thoughts and see my go-to glam, then go ahead and keep watching. All right, so I'm gonna talk through this a little bit, but then obviously just kind of chit chat with you guys. So starting off, as usual, I go ahead and go in with my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I guess I'll just start with the UK version and then kind of go into the US version. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so right now, the last episode I just watched was the heart rate challenge episode, which the heart rate challenge did not give this year at all compared to previous years. I was really hoping that somebody was gonna wow me, and nobody wowed me. I was just like, I don't feel like anybody really killed it compared to like last year. Like Whitney and Catherine last year killed it, literally killed it. I will say all of the girls except for Mimi, did they talk in the back and decide that they were gonna like suck every single guy's finger? Because literally every single girl except for Mimi sucked the guy's fingers, and I was like, what is going on here? Like, why do y'all like these finger suckings? I'm just so confused. But honestly, I will say I did like all of the girls' outfits. Jess's outfit was probably the one that I was kind of like the most underwhelmed with. Uma looked really good, Mimi looked really good, Grace looked really good as well. And something that annoyed me was when Ayo was like, oh, Uma looks good in white. I'm like, boy, if you don't be quiet and stop making comments about Uma, like, sometimes I get so annoyed that I can't vote for the UK Love Island, because I'm like, there's a couple people I want booted off the island. Joey and Grace being the first ones, because they're honestly, Joey annoys me so much. I don't know if he, like, honestly, I had no idea who Joey Essex was, and then when everybody made like such a big deal, like, oh my god, Joey Essex is on the show, I was like, who that? Like, literally, who is this? Apparently he's like big in the UK, I guess, so whatever, props to him. But I don't know, I just feel like he's in there and he really, I don't like what he did to Sam. Like, that was so messed up. He definitely used her as a placeholder because he just wanted somebody else to come in. And yeah, the fact that he gaslit her into thinking that like he wasn't doing that is ridiculous. And then I feel like the producers were ruthless in making her go home. I feel like that would have been the perfect opportunity to send in a bombshell for her, but to literally dump her from the island, I was like, that's crazy. That is ruthless work. When at the end of the day, I feel like Joey should have been the one that was done, because be so for real. And another thing I think is, like, if you guys are so in love, leave. Like, genuinely leave. You guys have had the opportunity before to be together, and now you guys are just like are gonna ruin the experience of being on Love Island and meeting other people because, you know, you guys like met back together. Like, I just feel like that's so dumb, because it's just like, I understand you're there to find a connection, but it's not like they genuinely found the connection on the show. They had a connection prior, and then they just ended up happening to like meet again on the show. Like, I just feel like they could go. If it was up to me, they could go. Because honestly, I don't feel like Joey and Grace give anything to the villa, if I'm being completely honest. If anything, the way that Joey acted towards Omar, I said, no. Get this man off my screen. And I'm so glad that Omar stood his ground and was like, bro, who you chatting to? Because I know it's not me. You know what I mean? Because he really stepped to Omar in a crazy ass way. And I was just like, brother, who do you think you are? Like, genuinely, who do you think you are? And then the fact that they were blaming, well, Joey was blaming the fact that they were in the bottom because of Grace, like, potentially giving attention to Omar, just solidified that the reason I don't like this man. Because it's just like, so that was the only reason that you guys could be in the bottom. It could not be because of you, or because people don't like you guys' connection, or because of what you did to Sam. Like, be so for real. Be so for real. I genuinely don't understand. And the fact that she literally didn't even say nothing, girl. Anyways, and also, let's not lie and act like Grace don't like chocolate men. Like, that's literally, she said that in very little words, you know what I mean? She's like, Joey's not normally my type. I think she said Omar's usually her type. And then her heart got risen the most by Ayo. And then she didn't 100% shut it off with Connor with a K. I don't know, like, and then the fact that she was like, when she was talking to Sean and Joey, and she was like so upset and seemed so annoyed, and then when Connor came, she's like, can I talk to you? Can I pull you? And she had like such an attitude, but then when she was actually in the chat with him, she didn't have that same energy. I'm like, girl, you seem like you're playing a game too, or you seem like to Joey you want to make it seem like it's something, but then in reality it's something completely different, because when you have the opportunity to shut it down with these men, you don't actually shut it down. So I'm not understanding. I'm just not understanding. Yeah, that's my opinion on Joey and Grace. Let's move on to my favorite, Mimi. Now Mimi and Ayo. I love Mimi. She is class. Like, that is the definition of classy, just like such a nice person. Like, obviously how she comes across on the TV, she just seems like a genuinely nice girl. I also hate that it seems like she doesn't have like a solid friendship in there, because I thought it was gonna be Uma, but then obviously they were in that little triangle, which I hated for her. But at the end of the day, like, I understand that's the experience. I did not like the fact that Uma kind of like sat them down, all three of them, and wanted Ayo to basically tell Mimi like, yeah, I'm number one. I was not feeling that. I was like, girl, like, Uma gives pick me. She really gives pick me energy. Like, she just wants people to tell her how much they like her or how amazing she is and all that stuff. And I just kind of picked that up from the conversation she's had with Will. But yeah, so I really like Mimi, and I loved Mimi and Ayo at the beginning, but I don't know, like, he just continues to do things that I'm just like, are you dumb? I just don't understand why you keep disrespecting our girl. I genuinely want somebody else to come in for Mimi, because I'm just not feeling it with Ayo. And I just feel like Concelear is gonna come and Ayo is gonna act a fool, and it's just gonna have Mimi out here looking foolish. And I just would honestly absolutely hate that for her. So I hope that they bring somebody in Concelear that could, you know, change her mind, or at least get her to want to have a different chat, because right now it's giving she is like 100% set on Ayo, and I don't think that he's 100% on her. I really genuinely do not think that. But I want to see Mimi in the finals. I would love to see her win, because she's a queen and I feel like she deserves it. And honestly, there's nobody else that I would really want to see win other than Nicole and Kieran. And let's go ahead and jump into them. So with them, I like them, but I just feel like they are low-key a little toxic. And I would say I feel like Nicole is probably the most toxic one from the two of them. I do think that Kieran does things that are a bit immature, but yeah, they're like the only other couple that I actually like. I really genuinely like Kieran alone as an individual. When he was getting on Sean about dumping Omar so that he could have like the clear path to pursue Matilda, I was like, Kieran, I mess with you, because I don't feel like anybody else would have pressed him about it. And I do feel like that was messed up, you know what I mean? Because you're literally taking away the competition just so it's easier for you. And honestly, I really liked Sean. Also, I'm pretty much done with the eyes. I'm not gonna put on lashes, because usually if I'm on vacation, I'm probably not gonna put lashes on. So I just did a little bit of mascara, and now I'm going in with my Nars Laguna bronzer. So this is what it looks like. So what I usually do is I will take my brush and I will like swirl it in there, and then I'll put it in the back of my hand just to kind of warm it up. and then just to get some of the product on there so that it doesn't go on my face as harsh. Moving on now to Sean and Matilda. So Matilda is probably my second favorite girl there. I really like her. She really seems like a nice, like bubbly girl. Like I feel like I could see myself being friends with Matilda. She seems like a genuinely cool girl. Again, this is all from what we're picking up from a TV screen. So Matilda on her own I like. Sean, I really liked him too, and I was kind of like, I felt bad in the beginning because I was like, man, he really is working and none of the girls really seem to like him. So I did feel bad for him at first, but then he started moving so weird, especially when Matilda came in. And I get that he's like, you know, I haven't had a fair shot, so I'm gonna 100% go for this one, because if not, my time here is probably gonna end, which I 100% understand. But the way that he moved about like wanting to get Omar out so that he had a clear path for Matilda, I felt like was so corny. And then on top of that, when he like kissed Matilda and then he yelled on the balcony like, I got my first kiss, I was like, I got the ick immediately, and I don't know how Matilda didn't, because there's no way. And I'm just like, I wonder if Matilda genuinely likes that type of stuff, or if she's just kind of like, well, he's really my only option here right now, and I have to kind of play it along until I get to a place where, you know, I can explore somebody else, because it doesn't really seem like there's anybody else in the island that she would really explore things with. Yeah, so honestly, Sean, I'm not messing with him too much. Like I said, Matilda, I would love to see her get to the end as well, because I just feel like she's a really nice girl. But Sean, not a fan. So now moving on to Ronnie and Harriet. I don't understand what the hype about Ronnie is, because honestly, in my opinion, Ronnie is probably the least attractive man in that villa. That's just me. You know what I mean? Obviously, nobody else agrees, but I'm just like, what is the appeal to Ronnie? I don't feel like his chat is even that great. His banter is that great. Like, I just don't see the appeal to Ronnie, and he obviously doesn't really have respect for women either. So I'm just like, I don't understand. I will say, the way that he handled the situation with Jess in the recent episode, I was like, okay, like, I feel like it was good, because I was like, there's no way that he's gonna play this triangle again between him, Jess, and Harriet, because honestly, at that point, I was gonna probably stop watching the show, because I was like, the show's really not giving much right now, and I'm just tired of the same storyline. Like, it's boring now, you know what I mean? It's probably a little bit too much plus, but it's okay. I'm gonna calm it down with a little bit of concealer, and then I'm just gonna go in with my Hourglass concealer. But yeah, I really genuinely don't understand. And the fact that Harriet is still on him, it baffles me. I'm like, girl, have you no self-respect? Like, there's no way that the man is gonna tell you that he doesn't want you when he was with Tiffany. He's gonna continue to play you and Jess, and then as soon as Tiffany's not there, no, not only that, she sent Tiffany home because she's like, you know, I want to explore my connection with Ronnie. Like, okay, girl. But not only are you going to just send Tiffany home, but then you're going to really, like, sit there and try to pursue him. Like, you're not even going to let him pursue you. It's so crazy. And I hope that when she leaves that villa, she watches this back and sees how she was and the desperation that she gave off, because I'm like, girl, it's not a good look. Like, it really, I just don't understand. But to a certain extent, I'm like, I get it. There's nobody else in there for her, but I'm just like, oh, like, wait or something. I really don't know. And then I'm trying to think of who else is left. Oh, and then there's Uma and Will. I heard Will is a Trump supporter, so enough said there. Bye. And honestly, like, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if Uma is still kind of like, okay, who cares? You know what I mean? Because Uma does kind of give me those type of vibes. So who knows? But yeah, not much to say there. I don't feel like their chat is very exciting. Uma, like I said, I feel like she's a little bit of a pick-me, so she's not my favorite. I had really high expectations for her when she came in. I think she's stunning. I really do think she's stunning. And then Jess, that girl, she's another one. She could get voted out for all I care. I don't feel like she's not nice. Like, she's genuinely not nice. And the fact that in the confessional she was like, you know, I wouldn't necessarily be friends with Harriet outside of the villa, but you know, in this environment you have to be friends with people. I was just like, that was such an unnecessary comment. You know what I mean? Like, bye girl. Like, she just gives mean girl vibes, and then she just uses it to say like, oh, I'm just direct. No, you're just an asshole. If I'm being honest. But yeah, so like I said, the series really isn't giving much. I feel like now I'm just kind of, I keep watching it just because I want to see how it turns out, especially for my girl Mimi, because I just feel like justice for Mimi. I just want somebody that really, really is all for her. Like, kind of how like Locken came in for Whitney. Like, that's what I want for Mimi. I just want that for her, and I just want that to end up how that ended up for Whitney. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on the Love Island UK series. It's really not my favorite, but I'm gonna see it through. But if Mimi gets voted out, that's where it ends for me. That's where it ends for me, unless somebody else comes in that I fall in love with, but I highly doubt it. Okay, and so now moving on to Love Island USA, which is the real tea. That is where the real tea is. So let's start off with Rob and Leah. Yo, the show that Rob put on for all of us, like, honestly, I feel like it deserves some sort of award, because he really put a show on for America with that performance of him crying and like jumping in the pool and all that when he did that to Leah. I was like, yo, is this dude okay? Like, there's just no way. And then, like, it genuinely, I was like, there's no way that this is actually happening. And I'm just so surprised that Leah didn't 100% get the ick from that, where she's like now trying to like circle back a little bit, because that would have completely turned me off. Like, I would have been like, there's just no way that I'm ever gonna want to look at you in any type of way, like romantically, because what do you mean? But yeah, I get Leah's wanting to kind of circle back to Rob, because at the end of the day, it's not like she ended it on her own. It kind of got ended for her, and obviously feelings don't just go away from one day to the next. Like, that's just not realistic. But I'm also kind of like, girl, have some respect for yourself. Like, the man is performing because he was like so in love with Andrea, but then didn't leave with her. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, there's no way that you had such a strong connection with Andrea, and then Andrea gets voted off, and then don't leave with her. Like, I feel like that would have been enough for me to know, like, oh yeah, this guy is not here genuinely to find a connection. Like, he's here for the exposure that he's gonna get, because not only based off his performances, but then also the fact that, again, you claim you found such a strong connection, but then you didn't leave with her. Doesn't make any sense to me. The decision to vote Andrea off, I feel like it was a great decision. I genuinely feel like it was a great decision for a number of reasons. One, Andrea gave Mean Girl. I genuinely feel like Andrea gave Mean Girl. Like, you can come into the house and step on toes and do what bombshells do, but then to like not really build any strong relationships or friendships with anybody other than Nicole, who you came in with. Like, I don't know. And then there was like a few comments that she made, like the comment that she made about Hannah when she was like, oh, this is the first time I've seen Hannah work out. I'm like, girl, shut up. Like, I haven't seen you work out. Like, what are you saying? Like, seriously, what are you saying? You know what I mean? So honestly, the fact that she got voted off, I thought was a great decision. I feel like Nicole is exploring connections, which is what you're supposed to be doing there. Janae has been trying to find a connection. She just hasn't had the best luck. So why would you send her home? And then on top of that, she brings so much to the villa. She's an OG. Like, I felt like there was no reason for them to vote her off. So the only choice was Andrea. And if Rob and her found such a great connection, then Rob should have left. But he didn't. So clearly, the connection's not that strong. You know what I mean? And on top of that, let me also say, if the connection that he found with Andrea was so strong, he wouldn't have even entertained the conversation with Leah, because he would have been like, honestly, like, I don't want to even have the conversation, because my loyalty is to Andrea, and I know Andrea wouldn't appreciate if I was talking to you less than 24 hours after she left. So the fact that he sat there and entertained the conversation less than 24 hours later, I'm like, bro, I'm not buying it. And then I'm almost finishing my makeup, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to like wrap it up really quickly. But before that, I'm gonna go ahead and set my face. Let me go ahead and talk about Serena and Cordell very quickly. Justice for Cordell, because Serena is literally playing this man. She's playing this man. The fact that she got the ick or whatever, she wasn't feeling him, and then all of a sudden she like is feeling him again right around the time that there was a recoupling. It just, I don't know, I'm just like, I don't get genuine intentions from her, and I genuinely don't think that she likes him. I think that she kind of thinks he's a little dumb, if I'm being honest with you, because of the conversation when he was like, oh, 180 and then 360. She was like, it's 180. Like, the way she spoke to him, I was just kind of like, okay, like, I get it. Like, obviously he's wrong, but then there's a way to go about saying it where you're not kind of talking down to somebody. Like, you could have just, she just could have made it a joke, like, come on babe, like, it's 180, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And then when she was having the conversation with him, also the first conversation where she's like, so what are your goals? And he was like, oh, I want to get a sponsorship. And she's like, that's it? You know what I mean? I just feel like she's with him because it's convenient, because he literally doesn't have eyes for anybody else. Like, he only is feeling her, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. The way that she did him in the last episode, the dance episode where, you know, you had to like dance and then decide if you wanted to like stay with your couple or explore. And the fact that she decided to explore and not at least just like stay there, because I'm sure she knew that he was gonna like stay on the dance floor, and then just have the conversation afterwards like, hey, I did stay, but I still want to get to know other people. Like, we're not closed off, you know what I mean? I don't know, I just feel like it made him look really, really bad, because it made it seem very one-sided. Like, he's the only one that's understanding where they're at, and she has a completely different understanding of where they're at. So I don't know, I felt bad for him, and I don't know, at this point I'm kind of tired of the games that she's playing, and I'm kind of like, yeah, you know what, maybe we need to vote this girl off, because clearly she's just playing Cordell, and I feel like just for that alone you should not be on the show, if I'm being completely honest. And then I'm just gonna talk about like the other people who I feel like are important to talk about. Kendall, I love Kendall. I think he's such a sweetheart. I think Miguel is super, super cute, but I wouldn't like, he doesn't give boyfriend, you know what I mean? He gives like good time, summer fling, but that's about it. He doesn't really give boyfriend to me. So yeah, so I really do hope that Nicole and Kendall work out, but the way that Kendall got off that dance floor, I was like, damn, bro. And I get it. He was like not trying to look dumb, because she could have potentially decided to want to explore, and then he stayed there. But I don't know, I feel like he really shot himself in the foot with that one. So I don't know, we'll see how it ends up going for them. I am rooting for them though. I am rooting for them. And then of course rooting for my girl Janae. I really do want her to find a connection in there. She seems like a genuinely nice girl who genuinely wants to find somebody. And then Leah and Connor, I want Leah to stop lying to Connor, because it's fine if you do not like him, like it's fine, but stop lying to the man. Because you're telling the girls one thing, you're telling everybody basically one thing, but then you're telling Connor when he asks you something completely different. And that's really the beef that I have with Leah, is just like, girl, just be honest, you know what I mean? I don't feel like she plotted to get Andrea out for her own benefit. I feel like that whole thing that Rob is trying to do is so corny, because I'm like, bro, if you're mad that Andrea got voted off, you should have just left with her, you know what I mean? Like, it really is that simple. You should have just left. But to now try to get people to be against Leah in the villa because you're mad is just, it's so dumb. And again, another reason why I'm just like, yeah, Rob can go, because Rob's just here for screen time at this point. And then I'm trying to think of who else. Connor, I really like Connor, but then the way he treated Janae, I was just like, no, I'm not feeling you. Kaylor and Aaron, I really like them as a couple. I actually voted for them. But the way Aaron spoke to the girls, not messing with it. Even though he apologized, I feel like it was still wrong. Kaylor doesn't have a backbone. Like, she really doesn't. As soon as Aaron was like upset with her, she was like, I'm sorry, I should have more opinion when it came to the vote. Like, girl, you were the one that said like, oh well, you know, at the end of the day, Robin and Leah will have a connection. Like, do you have Alzheimer's? Do you forget that you said that? And then on top of that, with the conversation with Rob too, when she was like, oh, we got, well, when her and Liv both said like, oh, we got played. Like, no, you guys didn't. You guys had a say just as much as Leah did. I'm not understanding. And then Liv, I didn't really like her at first. Kind of liked her a little bit, and now I'm not liking her again because I'm just like, what is your game here? Because you were the first one that said Janae staying. So it was between Nicole and Andrea. And at the end of the day, it still made sense to send Andrea home over Nicole. You get what I'm saying? Like, Nicole's actually doing the experience when Andrea was just 100% Rob. And then also not making friendships. Like, I just don't get it. I feel like I still have so much to say, but I'm just kind of like trying to wrap up 3 weeks worth of stuff in 2 different series in like a really short video. But yeah, let me know if you guys like these little like recaps of what I'm thinking about the shows, and I'll continue them. But yeah, so that is going to complete today's video. My makeup is all done. Like I said, this is my go-to glam. I always love how it turns out. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications so you get notified every single time I post a new video. And if you got to the end of this video, I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Mwah. Bye.